Sticking with the company's listing, I caught up with the JSE's head of primary markets, Maurice Madiba, for insight on what the listing means for the market and investor access to high growth sectors. Here's that conversation.
I think we very much welcome the listing to the JSE this morning. It marks our fifth listing in the capital markets in South Africa and the second IPO to take place this year, where they did a capital raise to raise the capital and unbundle themselves from the Blue Label group. So I think it's good that now investors can get direct access into this telco play that is Cell C, with all of the millions of subscribers that they have and the competitive edge that they have in terms of being infrastructure light, but really being able to provide crucial coverage across South Africa. So it's good to see, and the trades have started. I mean, the order book is very full and trading quite a bit. So we are thrilled to have them at the JSE today.
Let's reflect on listings this year. What has that looked like? We've seen, a trend of unbundlings and secondary listings, not necessarily private companies looking into listed markets. Talk to me about what you're seeing when it comes to that.
Yeah, look, I think it's really good hunting grounds for us as the primary markets team that the unbundlings have been taking place and that the value gets released on the stock market when these companies choose to list. You think of We Buy Cars, you think of Rainbow Chicken, you think of Boxer. Now we've got Cell C, and it's really being a healthy pipeline that has been fed to the capital markets. And when we look at JSE overall, very deep, very liquid market, and it really is testament to the fact that it's an international exchange. So we've seen a lot of interest from companies in the United Kingdom, in the Eurozone, in the US, choose to have their shares trading in South Africa on the JSE specifically, and that just speaks volumes to the depth and the sophistication of our capital markets.
And do you expect more listings moving forward, or is this the last one for the year?
There's always things brewing. Certainly, I think this might be for 2025, the closing listing. And early next year, we'll see some activity come in. We're expecting Canal Plus since the acquisition of MultiChoice, so that will be very welcome. And then also some announcements that have gone out into the public around listing opportunities. Very diverse range of listings coming to the exchange. So long may the listings boom continue. And we are holding the fort, looking forward to welcoming these companies here.
I know the JSE has been working on regulations to make listing costs lower for small cap companies. What does that look like so far? Is the uptake? Are you seeing less delistings when it comes to those small cap counters?
Yeah, so we've got around 280 listed companies in the exchange. And then what happened last year was that there was the introduction of the market segmentation. So we, in essence, segmented the main board into a prime segment and a general segment. And the general segment is kind of the new introduction, whereas the prime is business as usual. So under the general segment, there's around 120 companies that are eligible to actually migrate from prime into general. And we've seen over 30 companies do that so far. So I think it's really speaking volumes to the kind of reforms that was needed in the market, and it's not necessarily that the listings requirements or obligations have been diminished, but they've just been adapted to allow smaller companies to kind of move and operate without the regulatory burden that larger enterprises face on the market. So we're looking at that growing a lot more, and I think it's really helped us to stem the tide of delistings, because the cost of compliance was just becoming a lot higher for smaller companies. And they were saying, well, perhaps I should look at delisting, but now there's an option. I can migrate to the general segment. So we're really encouraging companies to take up this new offering at the JSE, and looking forward to seeing how that grows in the future and what kind of opportunities it will introduce to investors going forward.
And then before I let you go, I have to ask you about the Competition Commission case, speaking regulation, speaking compliance. What's the approach moving forward just ahead of that court case?
Yeah, so look, I mean, it's interesting. We've been very cooperative with the entire process. We're looking forward to seeing what the outcome is. Of course, JSE is a very deep and liquid market, and we have and enjoy a large market share. But it does not mean that we do not welcome competition. We do very much welcome competition, and we even cooperate with some of these other exchanges. Some of them get listings from us as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. I don't necessarily agree with the recommendation of the Competition Commission. So we have to see how the tribunal then looks at this, and that's being handled obviously by legal this side. But I think there could be an amicable resolution to this, which I'm hoping will see itself in the media very soon.
That was Maurice Madiba, head of primary markets at the JSE.